Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another fantastic episode on the Unleashing Potentials podcast. My name is Bernadette Desir, and I'm your host. And joining me today, all the way from sunny, hot Texas, is my uncle, my father, Dr. John Leininger. How are you?
I am wonderful, and I am so blessed and um, just enjoying the fact that I can be on your podcast, and so proud of you that you've been doing these podcasts and what you've done. It's a joy to me being your uncle and father, as you call me, and
Yes.
I take that as pure joy that you do consider me that.
Yes.
Uh, as I have certainly considered you my family and daughter for a long time.
Yes.
So,
Thank you. Thank you. Should we tell people how we met? Because the intro is like, my uncle, my father. What? I didn't know that. Let's tell people how we met. Go ahead.
wow. Okay. Well, it's been a bunch of years ago. You might know better than me how many years, but it's got to be at least, I've known you at least 20 years, 25 years, really. Something in there.
Yeah.
As I think through it. Yeah, probably closer to 20 years, I would think. And as you were in an orphanage in Haiti that I worked with, that I tried to help support, and um, you were actually one of the first kids adopted out of that orphanage. And you've done awesome things. I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so.
Thank you. Yeah, I remember. uh, Here and there, the memories kind of fade. They come back and they fade again, but I do remember. And you have transformed and changed my life in ways that I can't always articulate in the English word. And
Well,
you continue to do that for so many hearts and soul in Haiti. But I know we're going to be talking about the mission that you're doing in Haiti. Can you tell us how long have you been going to Haiti for and why Haiti?
I got to give away my age if I do that, though. But I guess that's fairly obvious. So, actually, my first trip to Haiti was 50 years ago this year. So, quite a while. And I was actually a young optometrist practicing in Ocala, Florida at that time. And my first, golly, let me think about that. Probably my first 8, 10 years, I went down and I just did eye care. Went to a a radio station in Cape Haitian. I wonder if you even know that. And did eye care, and that's all. And my first trip down there was kind of eventful because they announced over the radio, there's a radio station, that there was an eye doctor for free eye care. Do you know what that looks like in a mission compound in Haiti? They broke down the gates. they flooded they flooded the compound. They had to call the police, and I was it. I was just one doctor. So
Oh,
um, so so future times when we did it, we learned not to announce it on the radio, just by
oh,
word of mouth. I saw plenty of patients just by word of mouth. So that was the first bunch of years, and actually was blessed to be able to sell a business and my practice, and really retire pretty young, and was able to then donate my time as a missionary and full time in Haiti, which is
yeah.
very much what I wanted to do. And so orphanage started around 2020, something around there. So that's when I met you first and got involved with the orphanages and orphans and all that.
Mhm.
And I could keep going further if you like me to, or
Yes, go ahead. This is about you as well. Go ahead.
all right, just my own walk, if you will. So as a young man, I would have never guessed that I would be so blessed to be able to do a ministry like this, that the Lord would bless me financially to be able to do it. And but here I was in really 1989, able to go full time. Really could have done anything in my life at that point. Um, and I chose to continue to minister in Haiti. And that's when we formed our ministry and started going full time there. Orphanage in or about the year 2000, 2001, and earthquake in 2010. which January 12th thereof.
Yeah.
And I was blessed in that time frame to be able to help 72 kids get adopted out of that orphanage. Spread all over the US, Canada, and other places, many of them even in San Antonio where I live. So we have Haiti Day every year. And was it not a Haiti Day you came to that one year?
I think I came once or twice. I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay. That's great because that's when we all get together and just feel blessed and share everybody's joy and have a great time. So we do that once a year, and that's always fun. Golly, moving forward, we built a village just south of Port-au-Prince in that time frame, shortly after the earthquake, because surprise to me, or maybe it wasn't a surprise, the money that was sent to Haiti to rebuild Haiti did not build a single home, or in my mind, really didn't help individuals. I mean, it was build a few roads and build a few government buildings and what have you, but I don't know what all it did. But I know that it didn't help the people living in 10 cities, which were at 1.2 million people. So, so we built a village. We've got our first village just outside of Port-au-Prince is about 100 homes and 600 or 700 people at that point. And we was doing medical care in South Haiti, Southern Peninsula for a while. And then they had a Hurricane Matthew came through there in 2016 and absolutely, if you can think about a Haitian mud hut and 140-mile-an-hour wind, it didn't work very well. And actually those winds even blew over concrete buildings. So we started a second village there for people that had nothing after that. And believe it or not, there was actually an earthquake in the Southern Peninsula in 2021 that was worse than the one in Port-au-Prince, but it was in a more rural area, so it didn't really get the attention that the big earthquake did. So in that area, we built a third village. So that's right now we're sitting with 3 villages and making it a home. They all have a church. They all have a clinic. Actually, our third, we haven't built our clinic on the third one yet, but have basically a manager of the village that takes care of things and gets back to us and keeps it going. We put the kids through school that are in the village and just try to raise them up out of the poverty that they're in. Really, I mean that's the part of that, and that gets us to current. Should I go on into what's going on in Haiti right now?
Yes. You share whatever's on your heart. You go ahead. I'm listening.
Well, so the gangs have been taking over Port-au-Prince, the capital, for over 2 years now, and now they're saying that they have 80% of the capital. And there was a missionary couple that was killed in the capital 2 weeks ago, I think it was. And so the gangs pretty much have control. The police, there is no army, and the police have basically pistols, and the gangs have very fancy guns and weapons. So, and many more of them. So the gangs can run unabated. And what they do is go into an area and basically tell everybody we're coming in and you need to leave. And if you don't leave, they may kill you. So, and then they take over the homes, they loot the homes, they take whatever they want basically, and then they move on. So when I was there in October, the gangs had actually gotten south of Port-au-Prince to where just a couple miles from our village in the city of Gracier. And it looked to me like that may be my last trip for a while. The gangs get a little bit close. And sure enough, about 2 weeks ago, the gangs moved into Gracier, took over the police station, and then started, they burned one of the schools we sent our kids to. They beat up our pastor and killed his neighbor. It's all quite brutal. And so our 600 or 700 villagers took off for the mountains. They just headed uphill out of our village, and we've been spending the last 2 weeks finding new homes for them, and just about anywhere we can. We've moved a lot of them into this more south, because that's where the gangs are not. And first thing we did was bring in 3 buses and take about 200 of them out of there and drop them off at if they had any family or relatives along the way, we dropped them off there. And if not, we took them to our mountain village, and they're staying in our, where we've got some team houses, a clinic, and a pretty big church that they can live in until we figure out what's next.
Yeah.
So it's been very chaotic. The good news to me is that nobody that we are aware of has been killed that has lived in our village. So, but they have, it's been pretty awful in Gracie as they've moved in and moved through it. So our next thing is our most difficult part, Bernadette, really is figuring out what's the next step. Do we assume this is going to go on for a year? Do we get them permanent houses? Do we assume that this Kenyan troops that are supposed to come to Haiti anytime and take care of the gangs and chase them out? Do we assume that, in a month or two, that'll be taken care of and they can move back? We don't know. And it's, so pray for us that we make the right decisions there. It will be a very expensive decision for us to find housing for the next year. The other part being that now they're not where their homes are, their businesses are, and that type of thing. So they can't even really work. So they really will need complete care for whatever time frame that is, till they can get back to their normal life, I guess. So that's where we are, and it's very difficult to watch. I'm really not concerned with the buildings. I mean, if they're already into what was our office, and we have computers and we have generators and all kinds of things there that I'm sure they took. And who knows, they may burn buildings. I don't know. I'm not too worried about the buildings. I'm worried about the people.
Yeah.
So the blessing has been that, to our knowledge, no one's been harmed or killed by the gangs.
Wow. Yeah.
As you said, it's not the Haiti you remember. And
No.
it's not.
No.
It's never. I've
It's
been going
completely
50,
different.
I've been going 50 years. I've never seen anything like this. And basically, someone has to come in to clean things up and allow the Haitian people to form a government again and get things going, because the gangs have been well funded and possess amazing weapons, which the police don't have. So they can't do it. And I know there's a debate on that, but I don't know how you can debate anything other than having some foreign force come in and help clean it up so that they can have a chance at a life again, which is very difficult now.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for all you've done and continue to do. And thank you for restoring so many hearts and lives, and for not only loving kids, people, family, parents. You've loved me when I did not love myself. You saw me when I did not see myself. And you've held my hands when my own father couldn't be there, when my own family couldn't be there. You've been there, and you're still there. I can message you anytime you're there. You show up. That's the kind
Anytime,
of
I will
soul
be
that
there.
you are.
You know that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, yeah, Haiti. Oh my goodness. And the village you're describing, I want to let people know I did go there once. Do you remember
Yes.
me going there?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I went there, and my sister was there a few years ago.
Wow.
Or
Wow.
Danny?
Yes, I was not there on that trip, unfortunately. I would have loved to have been there, but
Yeah.
yes, she actually went to at least 2 of our villages. I'm not sure if the third one has been built by that time, but but yes, she's seen it fairly currently.
Yeah, she barely got out. Barely.
Oh, oh, do you tell that story?
I don't know the full story, but she barely got out. She was
Yeah,
very excited to go, and everything is said. And when they were, oh yeah, Kenley was there, so you know the story too.
I know it well, firsthand from Kelly, and basically there was they were to leave city of Kais to go to Port-au-Prince to catch the flight back to the U.S. And so it's just a little small plane from Kais that you take to Port-au-Prince. But they had announced that on that Saturday that they were leaving, that there would be some riots. I mean, they announce riots ahead of time sometimes. So they announced that they were gonna have riots, but they weren't worried about it. I think I would have been a little more concerned. So they tried to go to the airport, and there was rioters between them and the airport. And actually, before the riot was over, they had burned a missionary plane that was sitting on the runway, thinking it was a bourgeois plane, but it clearly said the ministry name on the side. So whatever. You know, they got they were in the airport and had trouble getting out of the airport back to a safe place. So they lived through a pretty exciting
Yep.
that through Florida Danny would not ever forget. But they were protected, and there was some guy on a motorcycle that just came up and said, "Come follow me," when they didn't know what to do, when they were in the middle of gangs, that protected them. And my experience, God always protects, and it's almost always miraculous. Uh, it's the unexpected. You don't expect a guy to come riding up on a motorcycle and say, "Follow me," but there he was. And I've experienced that type of thing many times in Haiti. And I hope to write a book about that and maybe
I
publish
thought
it.
you already did.
Well, I, I've written one book, but it was really to my grandchildren. Okay.
Mm,
And their their genealogy and some of what I've done in missions, but really my whole life. So this one I want just missions. This is a pure missions book.
mm,
And so
yeah.
hoping to get that finished at some point. But I stay busy. With Haiti. I mean, especially the last few weeks. Oh my goodness, very busy. So
Yeah.
um, one day I'll just have to take off a week or a month or whatever it is and finish up. And
Mhm.
by the way, I've talked to you about a book of poems often too.
You have, and
Mhm.
I do write poetry, and yeah, I just haven't find my way to get it done
See how it
financially.
is? I mean, it takes time and it takes focus, and it's very hard to take the time to do it. But I would love to see you do that because some of your poems are incredible.
Thank
And
you. Thank you.
we'll get that published one day. I pray to. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. Now that you remind me.
well, I do have a file on my computer of a whole bunch of your poems.
Oh yeah, I
Someday
did you a bunch.
someday I'm just going to put that in a little book. And send it to you, so at least you have
Yeah,
a book of poems and some of your drawings and stuff too. Oh my
I
goodness.
paint. I paint too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you put your paintings next to your, some of your poems. I think it would make an incredible book.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
so, so I
Thank.
encourage you to do that too. So we both encourage each other to finish our books.
Yes. Get it done. You just get the books done. Yeah. Yeah. You've been to Haiti. Your first trip, as I can see in my bio here, is 1974.
Yep.
I wasn't born yet. Uh,
Uh,
what is the difference? What's so different from then to now when it comes to Haiti in general? Can you walk us through some of the things that has changed?
well, okay. 1974 to 1986, Papa Doc and Baby Doc were still there. So they basically had president for life, is what he called himself. And um, he actually had a military, at that point, and he had a pretty brutal police force called the Tatamakouts, and kind of interesting because they were a secret police force, but they all wore aviator sunglasses, so you knew they were. It's kind of interesting, but actually did have people in pretty much every village that would tell the Makouts if somebody was against the government or saying bad things against the government or anything like that. And boy, they were pretty brutal, and it was not so good. And so actually between 1986 and 1991, there were 6 coups kicking out the previous man in power. 6 coups in basically 4 or 5 years, and I was there for 4 of them. They started telling me, "Don't come, because every time you come, we have a coup."
Wow.
But they were all military coups. Okay, so whoever was the latest general in charge of the military would kick out the last guy that was in charge before, and so they were all military coups. So at the end of that, 1990 was when Aristide was finally elected, the first president ever elected in Haiti.
I remember him.
And, everybody had great hopes for him, but he was deposed in September of 1991. And well, okay, it was basically in the air. I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. It was in the Aristide timeframe that they disbanded the military because they didn't want any more coups, which made sense at that time. But now they're paying for it because now they have no military to take care of all the gangs, and they only have a police force. So, so it hasn't worked either way, with the military or without the military. And I don't know the right answer to that, but that's pretty much the way it's been. So since about 1990, there hasn't been a military, and there has been every 5 years an elected president. Right up to current, when the current elected president Moise was brutally killed. Yeah, and so since then, for the last 2 years, there's been no president and no elections. So that's why we got to. I mean, Haiti has to get back to where they can control the gangs, have elections. I agree there would be no point to an election now because the gangs would control the elections. So there's no point in doing that, but they've got to straighten that up before Haiti can get back to normal. But it's never been like this. That's all. And it's Haiti's. I mean, I love Haiti. I told you. I told you.
Don't you start.
But I do love Haiti, and I love the Haitian people. They are they're kind, gentle people.
Yeah.
Cut out a lot of this, please. but yes, they don't deserve this, and they just want to work and get a decent life and succeed and get out of poverty, and they deserve every bit of that. So if it takes the international forces to come in and allow them to do that, I'm all for it. But I will just point out, not every Haitian agrees with that. But what do you do right now? What do? You can't just let it continue into chaos as more and more people are killed and more area is taken over by the gangs. So that's that's a real quick history of Haiti, right? But I've seen it through dictatorship, basically, and through the presidents, and now the gangs. I mean, it's been it's been quite an experience. So yes, I'm often teaching some of the Haitian kids that have come over, adopted or whatever, teaching them Haitian history. Oh yeah, did you know this happened then?
Yeah.
And have been over. I mean, it's 50 years, but I've been over almost every part of Haiti, and enjoyed all my experiences there. Some of them there've been situations where I've thought, oh my goodness. I mean, I remember one time we were in the middle of nowhere, south of Cape Haitian, little city called Pion, and our vehicle broke down. Wheel bearing went out. Now what are you going to do? I mean, this is a place you might get a car every two or three a day, maybe. You see a car,
Yeah.
and we're wondering what in the world are we going to do. And we all got down, prayed, by the car, and 2 minutes later, a carload of missionaries shows up, takes us to. Oh, and by the way, the next day we had to fly out, so we got to get back to place to fly out, and we're in the middle of nowhere, central Haiti, and they took us to a mission compound, feed us, and got us to our airport on time. So to me, it was totally miraculous. But many things like that have happened to me, in Haiti, and it's what I think gives me such joy to go back and see what the next adventure, next way we can help really is.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah, I'm schizophrenic. So when people want to know me, I tell them the stories of Haiti because I've seen things that a child should never see, witness, or experience. I've seen it all. And some people believe me, some don't. I don't care. That's what I saw. You know, bodies on the street, blood, starvation. I remember one day I was living with my dad. I was so hungry. There was no food, and I could feel it in my gut. It's a type of hunger I've never experienced, since going through the orphanage, and there's food, there's water. But I'll never forget that day. And I was telling my dad I'm hungry. He said, "I'm sorry, I don't have anything." And he would
well,
roam the streets and walk around and loan money and see what he can do to help. And my mom, she almost got killed. Someone pointed a gun at her head. She got up very early to go sell bread. She never told me the full story. Maybe it's for my protection, or I don't know why. But when some of the stuff people see, you can't unsee it.
yes, that's
You
true.
just can't. And that's why I'm using my experience, because I've been there and I'm here now. I can take people there without them getting killed. I can.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Well, I would like to tell you that those things don't happen now, but they very much do. And I have chosen not to tell stories that I know like that. But you know it's true. You've seen it.
Yeah.
It's still like that, especially the gangs. They're ruthless. They just will do whatever. And I don't
Yeah.
know why sometimes. I mean, you're going to kill an old man and an old woman. Why are you doing that? Um, but it is Haiti now, and it needs to change. And I think it can change. It has gotten better. It was um, Haiti's had good times,
Yes.
and it needs to get back to that.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I mean, that's been my prayer for a long time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I'm praying, I'm praying for the Kenyan troops. That's what I'm praying for, that they get there and
Yeah.
straighten things and
Yeah.
allow them to get back to their homes. That's all they want.
Mhm. Yeah, I saw something about the Kenyan troops. I don't watch the news for good reasons. Doesn't mean it shouldn't be there. It's great. Um, I don't know. What do you think it's going to take for Haiti to be restored, for people to be protected, to be safe? Because
Well,
I don't
I
know.
do. I think most Haitians would agree that it's going to take a foreign power. Some people are tired of having foreign powers in Haiti, and I get that. But at this point, I don't know what the other option is. It's just going to continue. It's like Gracier, too. I mean, a beautiful town of Gracier.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago was wonderful.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to work, everybody's getting fed, everybody's going to school. Now that's all gone. Schools burnt, people killed, villages, everybody hiding in the mountains without food again, by the way. I mean, now they can't work, they can't get food.
Yeah.
And how can you watch that from one city to the next, one area to the next, and not say somebody's got to do something? Um,
Yeah.
so, uh, so, so the the UN is basically hiring the Kenyan troops, and it's other troops also that will be with them. But I understand there's going to be about 2,500 troops with pretty good military equipment sent in to fight gangs. Now, I will tell you that I don't know that anybody knows a count, but there's got to at least be 10,000 gang members, more than that.
Oh, yeah.
So be a small force fighting a much bigger force. And that's my fear. That the Kenyans have the heart to fight, even though it's not their country. You understand what I'm saying there?
Yes.
In other words, the gangs are fighting for their country. You know, the United States lost a war in Vietnam because we weren't fighting for our country. They were fighting for their country. It's the same concept there. So the Kenyan troops have to understand what they're fighting for, the life of the people there, and be willing to sacrifice for that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're just going to go drive in and everybody's going to put their guns down. I don't think so. So we will see what happens. And I certainly pray that they're able to take care of things in a fairly short time frame. And so, I mean, the last thing I heard was that 2 weeks ago, the first Kenyans were supposed to land. Well, I haven't heard anything about them coming yet. So I don't know what the delay is. I don't really know what's happening. But they're not there yet. So.
Oh my God. Wow. Yeah. Here's what I've heard is that earlier in the phase of what's going on there, that Canada definitely pulled out some troops and people that were there. So did the US and many other countries.
Yes.
It's unfortunate because, as you've mentioned, Haiti is such a beautiful country. And for those who haven't been there, if we could paint them a picture of the beauty of that country, of the people, the heart, the music, the culture, just the love that everyone exudes.
Yes.
When you're in Haiti, you know you're in Haiti, and it's a party. And even in a foreign country, when you go to a Haitian's house, you're welcome. It's a party. And that's who we are as Haitian, and that's who we are as people. And that's the language of connection. And I still have so much hope for Haiti. Yes, it's going to take foreign help. Well, I'm Haitian, but I don't have a citizenship. I'm a Canadian citizen.
Once Haitian, always Haitian, though. So
yes, you can't
I claim that after 50 years, I claim part Haitian also. So
yes, yeah.
because,
I think we need help.
because Haiti is a culture, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
So I say with pride that I have absorbed some of the Haitian culture. It's who you become. It's who you become, who you are. Have you absorbed Canadian culture too? Of course you have, but you're still.
Yeah.
And I get to claim being a little bit Haitian myself, and very proud of it. So.
Yeah. Tell us, what has your faith mean to you within the line of work that you've been doing?
Wow. Obviously, well, let me say it this way. Let me tell a little bit about my faith. In 1974, I was a member of a church, and the pastor became a friend and basically challenged me. Basically said, "Yep, you're a Christian. You come to church. You do the things you're supposed to do. But if you really turn your heart over to the Lord," and I found that a difficult question, because my concept of, well, turning my entire life over to the Lord, boy, that'd be boring, and I'd walk around with my hands folded, kind of like this, and that'd be boring, and I wouldn't like that. And gee, I don't know that I want to be a missionary. That doesn't sound a appealing thing to me. What if he sends me in the mission field? So I finally decided to do that, and I gave my life completely, totally to the Lord, whatever. And 2 months later, being on the board of the church mission committee, they gathered 6 of us up and said, "Go to Haiti and find out what our missionary over there is doing, because we don't know what he's doing." That was my first trip, and You well know that my life has been tremendously exciting. So the fear that Satan was trying to use to keep me from that commitment, that would be boring, was just not so.
Yeah.
Every moment of mission work is exciting. And what does he give me is the love, but being a missionary, so it's
Yeah.
that's and that was the start of it. So and I mean there's a reality. I mean, I don't claim these good works. I mean, it's the Holy Spirit working through me. And I mean, to me, it was a little bit of a learning experience, because we used to do teams and I'd have this schedule and we got to go, this is day such and so, and it's such and so hour. We got to be doing this. And after a while, you learn, no, let the Holy Spirit lead. And what I found after a while was that the things that people really remembered about a trip would be something that was not planned. Some person or some event or something that was presented to us, that we could either say, gee, we need to stop everything else and take care of this or not. And one of the first, quick story, another story. We were on a team to the Citadel in Cape Haitian, and we were on that road going up to the Citadel, and a little boy stopped us with his hand was swollen 3 or 4 times the size. And I mean, gets into sepsis, and then that can lead to death, really. Is like an 8 or 10-year-old little boy. So we had the choice. Do we stop the team, everything we're doing, go take care of this little boy? Or do we go, continue on up to Citadel and continue whatever the next day was and whatever we're going to do? And we stopped and we took care of the little boy. And but it's still incredible memories. And a number of years after that, the mom would stop us every time we were in that area and just thank us. And we'd see the little boy getting to be a big boy, and what joy, what joy. So that's the leading of the Holy Spirit, and that's as the Holy Spirit is leading you, and you're not trying to do things yourself. So that's been a huge lesson to me. And it is my faith that leads me back. Although it's my desire. It's not like I'm being pushed. I want to go. I want to go. And so it was October. I said I wouldn't go back for a while. I'm already trying to figure out, well, what if I go and I fly into Cape Haitian instead of Port-au-Prince, and maybe I can still, so I'm still trying to find out how I can go, even though I probably should at this point, because I love it and I love the people, and they're so many parts of their culture incredible, as you have well described.
Yeah. Well, we, the people of Haiti, love you back.
Well, and I feel a lot. I have so many friends. I mean, it's that's a joy too. And thank goodness for WhatsApp and internet and everything, where you can actually keep track of people far away.
Yeah.
Keep up with them, make sure they're, mentoring by WhatsApp. It's an interesting thing, but it can be done. And checking, are you behaving? Are you going to school? Let me see your report card. And you can do those things. It's very exciting.
Yeah, I agree. In your own opinion, how can God shake up Haiti? Because I believe only He can also inspire and move and shake off the guns of the gang members' arms and necks.
I mean, do we not all pray that there would be just a spiritual revival in Haiti?
Yeah.
I mean, there's certainly been tons of prayer for that, and will continue to be. To a degree, I mean, I would see it coming, because people have to stop and say, what in the world are we doing?
Yeah.
I mean, taking over people's houses, chaos, burning schools, and other things unthinkable. Don't they have to stop at some point and say, what in the world are we doing? And it would be God revealing Himself to them that would cause that.
Yeah.
How that happens, when that happens, I mean, that's up to God for sure. Pray for them, because it's a hard change, as you know. It's not, actions only go so far. You can act like you changed, but if the heart hadn't changed, you're not changed. And the heart has to change. But let us not forget, Haiti is a Christian country. There are tons of Christians there. And this makes it more painful with what's happening there, because they are Christians and they are suffering unbelievable issues based on what's going on. And all praying hard for their own protection and for Haiti.
Yeah.
So I pray that'll happen. It is sad when it takes guns to fight guns. It would be much better to be a spiritual revolution that just changed everything. But I don't see that right now. At least, God only knows. Maybe that's what he's got planned, and it would certainly reveal himself to everyone if he did it that way.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And just all the leaders all of a sudden have a revival and accept the Lord and change the gangs. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that happen?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah,
incredible.
yeah. Can you tell us more about your organization, Mercy International, correct?
Mercy International, yes. And our website is Mercy INTL, INTL for international, mercyintl.org. And that certainly has a lot more information about us than I can tell you in a few minutes on the podcast. But our main ministry is Haiti. We also minister to the U.S. some. We've got a little bit of ministry to Africa, but by far and away our ministry is in Haiti, and has been. That's my heart, and as I've led the ministry, that's what we've done. So ways people could help. We have over 40 children not sponsored for school. That's their way out of poverty. I would love, I mean, it's $30 a month. I would love to see those school kids get sponsored. We have widows that could use just $25 or $50 a month, just a little bit, and that make incredible difference. Doesn't sound like much to someone in the U.S., but over there it can be life-changing. So houses, I continue to believe housing is the best, though one of the more expensive ways to resolve poverty. Consider for a minute that the average Haitian is making maybe $500 or $600 a year, they say. To rent a home costs them close to $200 or $300 a year. So if you can build them a house, give them a house to live in that they own, that essentially doubles their income. Now, instead of only having $300 left over, they may have $600 left over. What can they do with that? Oh my goodness, feed their family better, clothe their family, all those things. So a house is about $700-800 to build a house. Our first village, we've got about 100 houses. We're pushing 200 houses total. That's the ultimate solution, or I don't know how to say that. It's the way that you're allowing them to be able to fish, using that analogy, because now their other things are taken care of. Now they don't have to worry about the food and that type of thing. They have more usable income, and it's security. If you're renting a house and your rent comes up and you can't pay it, what happens? You get kicked out. You're on the street. Now you are in trouble, and that happens a lot. So a house can last 50 years or more. I don't know, long time, concrete block. So those are just some of the ways that we're working. We've put up quite a few children. They're adults by the time they get to university level. But we've got about 5 nurses, about 4 doctors that have made it through, and engineers and admin, school teachers, all kinds of things. And by U.S. costs, I guess, it's not much, maybe $3,000 a year. So $250 a month, you can put somebody through medical school. Oh my goodness,
Wow.
consider that. So those are all things that we do, and we can only do what we can do. And that's the hard part. When somebody comes up in the village that's really smart, wants to be a doctor, let's say, and we don't have any funding, that just very difficult. So that's all online, and I'm sure they can get our contact information from you also. So
Yeah, I'll be sharing that.
yeah.
If we calculate it, Canada, the US, just with Haiti, the amount that we have to give is nothing compared to how much we're buying coffees with every 2 weeks,
Oh,
every month. It's nothing.
yeah.
And I saved my niece. She was born, she's still in Haiti. She was born there. And $200. That's how much I had to just send for medical bills to save my niece and the mom. That's it. If I hadn't sent it, one of them would have died or both. And
It is
that's
so low.
priceless.
I mean, I've got a million stories, so you're gonna have to stop me when it's time to stop. We were sending one of the women from our village to the hospital to deliver,
Mm,
and she on this woman that was in the hospital,
mhm,
had delivered, and said, well, she'd been there for a month. She didn't have the $150 to pay the hospital for the delivery, so they wouldn't let her out. So she'd spent a month in the hospital, and you and I know they don't feed you in the hospital. You have to have friends or family come in to feed you.
mhm.
So they'd been coming in there and feeding her for a month for $150 that she couldn't pay the hospital for her delivery. So, I mean, we do those types of things too. We
Wow.
run upon those types of things all the time.
Mhm,
And it's a joy to be able to help people like that.
mhm.
Just for really a small amount, you can dramatically change their life.
Yeah.
That's the deal.
Yeah. And I used to sponsor, I think, two girls in Haiti. There are different sponsorship companies that people can go to, but I'd refer them to yours because you can see the fruit of all the hard work and the how you minister to those people. You just see it. You can see where your money's going.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you do sponsorship too? Like people can sponsor kids? I think you mentioned you did. I don't remember.
yes, absolutely the same way. And we send pictures of the children and information on what grade and how they're doing, at least annually, if not twice a year, that
Mhm,
we send something out.
mhm,
So
yeah.
yeah, we have right now. We just looked at it the other day, trying to figure out what we were going to do. We have 40, I think it's about 41 or 42 unsponsored primary school kids. So that's $30 a month, 360 a year. Um, Starbucks coffee per month. That's what they. I bet you spend more than 30 on Starbucks
I
if
don't
you go.
drink coffee, but yes. It's not that much if we think about it.
No, it's
And
not.
yeah, if someone wants to sponsor, they reach out through you through the website. And can you tell us what is Kenley's role in your ministry and the
Uh,
organization?
Kenley, who was in the orphanage,
Yes,
that's how Bernadette knows him. And actually, he came after you left, did he not? Did
after,
you?
yeah.
Okay, I thought so. He for quite a while served as kind of my right-hand guy at the orphanage, and he was in charge of keeping the generator working and
Mm,
just everything working around there. So when he was adopted and came to the U.S., went through high school with A's. I don't know how you do that when it's it's not your first language and you just show up. So
we're hard
so
workers. We get it done.
and I don't know if you know this story, but he was getting ready to go in the military. Been through 2 years of college, had his associate's degree, was getting ready to go in the military, and I called him up and said, "What would you think about working for Mercy instead?" So
Wow.
that's when he came to work for us, And although I've been going to Haiti 50 years, my Creole is not the best. And certainly written Creole is just it is a little bit interesting because you can spell different things several ways, what have you. So Kenley's always there and available for conversations in Creole or translating or um, you know, anything to do. So we call him our associate director, and he does a great job for us. He's it's been about 7 or 8 years now with me, believe it or not.
Yeah.
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 Is there room for more? You know, that's one thing I've always wanted to do, to somehow serve Haiti through some organization. And if I didn't get so sick like I did years ago, I would have been going back and forth to Haiti as a missionary because I wanted to serve, because I wanted to be back and give back to where I was.
The Holy Spirit puts that in your heart, and that you know it does it not keep you from being happy if you don't? I mean, if it's like, I mean, I haven't been 80 since October, and it's like, oh my goodness, I have to go, you know, and it's just it's interesting. But talk to me sometime about that, and I bet we can plug you in um, as what we're terming an ambassador for Mercy International
In Canada,
in
do you
Canada.
have someone in Canada plugged into what you do?
Maybe we're going to have this young lady named Bernadette pretty soon.
Now you
But no,
do.
no, we don't have anybody at this point.
Oh,
So,
wow. Here I am. Wow, wow, wow. What an amazing conversation this has been. Is there anything else we didn't cover that you would like to share with us?
wow, so many topics. I'm sure there are, but I'm thinking we covered them pretty well. And anybody that wants to can get a hold of me through the website or with you, and I would be glad to dialogue or answer questions or whatever might deem be necessary at that point.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. What do you want people to get out of this episode? Let's say they're watching it for the first time. They don't know you, they don't know me, but somehow something pull their heartstring to serve and to just be better in their community.
Well, number one would have to be turning your life fully over to the Lord, to where the Holy Spirit is in you and you're fully serving our Lord. And second, I would hope once you do that, that you would get a heart for Haiti also. There's so many ways that you can do that, be it sponsorship or being an ambassador in a certain area where you're working through your church or whatever. Uh, Haiti is a wonderful place, and I want to see it back to where it has been and even better. And I think those days are coming,
Yeah,
prayerfully very soon.
yeah, yeah. We yearn to see those days and we hope for them to come tomorrow. And we believe they will.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. Two questions for you. Well, you technically already answered the second one, which I normally ask, how can people get a hold of you? And you've shared that. My last question for you is, what is the meaning of life for you?
Well, it's really, I mean, it's to follow the Lord. I mean, it is. And that's following your heart. I mean, it's not always doing things for yourself. And a lot of times it's putting somebody else before you. And you know, and just being able to look back and seeing what you've done is worthy and that there's still more to do and keep going, serving the Lord in any way that he leads you to do it. That's to me as
Yeah.
close as I can come to a definition of the requested.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. Well, Dr. John, Uncle John, Dad, thank you so much for the beautiful, amazing soul that you are. Thank you for healing. Thank you for loving Haiti. Thank you for reaching out to everyone who needs it. And thank you for seeing us. By us, I mean the kids you're helping in Haiti, the ones you've helped. And thank you, thank you, thank you. That's not even enough to say. I don't have enough words, but thank you.
Well, and Bernadette, you are incredible. I love to see the Lord leading you in your heart and what you're doing through these podcasts and other things. It's just incredible. But it was your decision. I do remember when your decision could have been very different. So,
Yes.
so happy with where you've come and what you've done. God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You too.